Opening day defeats for Guyana Amazon Warriors and St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. They have to turn their fortunes around. Let's look ahead to that game and help you pick our fantasy team. This is my 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPN Cricinfo. I'm Ronak Kapoor and I'm all set to join Darren Ganga. Right, we're going to start with our pro tip for this one. And even after one game, our analysis tells us there's something we know about the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. And that is that they have a weakish middle order. Therefore, picking their top three, along with a chunk of their bowlers for pretty much every game that the Patriots play, is our pro tip. I wonder what Darren Ganga makes of that. Darren, only one game, but that's what our analysis says.
I concur, Ronak, and I think you're spot on. Top heavy with their batting. They lack some resources in the middle order, and I don't think they have the firepower to capitalize in the death overs with the bat. So to their bowling, I think they will find it very difficult to beat some of the more, I would say, proficient teams in this year's Hero CPL. But the one thing I'd like to add to that pro tip is the fact that it's the rainy season in Trinidad and Tobago. So there's a lot of weather around, conditions quite wet. So if you're picking a spinner, ensure that you know that spinner is going to be challenged with the damp conditions, inability to grip the ball. So that person might not be as effective as you would think.
Okay, so then let's keep an eye on what spinners we've recommended and see if Darren gives us a few more options. Let's go straight into our team. Before that, I'll remind all our viewers that on the My 11 Circle app, you've got 100 credits within which you've got to pick your fantasy team. You can pick players out of 4 categories: batsmen, bowlers, wicket keepers, and all-rounders. You'll see every player's individual credit value on the app, and you can pick a maximum of 7 players from one team for any particular game. Let's move to our team for this particular game now, and our captain choice is going to be Sohail Tanvir after the impressive performance that he put in against the Tridents on the opening day. We know that he's capable with bat and ball. He remains one of the highest wicket takers in T20 cricket across the world, and he does enjoy his time in the CPL as well. A couple of handy wickets on the opening day, and Sohail Tanvir is therefore our choice for captain. Our vice captain is going to be Shimron Hetmyer, a very handy half-century, even though it ended up seeing his team on the losing side. Hetmyer looked in pretty decent nick and touch for the Guyana Amazon Warriors. And alongside Nicholas Pooran, you think Hetmyer is going to feature pretty regularly now every time his side plays. So our captain choice is Sohail Tanvir. Our vice captain is Shimron Hetmyer. Remember, the captain gives you double the points and the vice captain 1.5 times the points. Pick them very carefully. In our top picks, Imran Tahir. Is he one of those spinners that Darren recommends in this game? Was a bit expensive in the opening game, but did get you a couple of wickets. So you can always guarantee that Tahir is going to get you the odd point or two when it comes to his bowling. And Evan Lewis, even though he didn't have the most auspicious start to CPL 2020, does feature in our top picks. So it's going to be, like we said, highly dependent on the top 3 for the Patriots. Therefore, we're going with someone like Evan Lewis with all his experience. A reminder, our captain choice is Sohail Tanvir, our vice captain is Shimron Hetmyer, and Imran Tahir and Evan Lewis are our top picks. Thoughts on that, Darren?
I agree with you. I think when you look at the bowlers across both teams, Imran Tahir definitely features. Again, he's a spinner, and he's shown in that first game that he was able to rise above the conditions, the damp conditions that was faced there on day 1 of Hero CPL 2020. In terms of the batting, Evan Lewis, he's shown time and time again, if he gets a start, he can go big. He is a match winner, so you would probably think he's bankable. So that's another good pick, Imran Tahir. Sohail Tanvir, I think, is also really good to select because he's economical, he's a wicket taker, he can hit the ball. So I agree with you completely. Those are your most important picks that you would want to have playing this fantasy league.
All right, let's round up the team then and give you some value picks and players that you'll get for decent credit value, might surprise you with the points they end up bagging. And our first value pick is going to be Ben Dunk. We've seen enough of Ben Dunk in T20 leagues around the world. He's had a decent enough start to CPL 2020. And of course, don't ever rule out that his strike rate in the PSL, which is the only major league that really happened earlier this year, was that of 186, average of over 52. So we can just replicate that sort of form. Don't leave Ben Dunk out of your calculations. Chemo Paul is there as well. All-rounders in fantasy are always decent value. They'll end up giving you points in one department or the other. And Chemo Paul took 11 wickets in last year's edition. In the first match, got a little cameo, 15 of 10 and 1 wicket. So someone like Chemo Paul in our value picks. Naveen ul Haq After that, also features in our value picks. We call him Afghanistan's Bumrah. You've seen the uncanny action. It can trouble a batsman or two. And 2 for 21 in the first game. Pretty decent returns for young Naveen ul Haq. So, in our value picks, Ben Dunk, Kimo, Paul and Naveen ul Haq. To round up the entire team, Nicholas Pooran and Ben Dunk in the wicketkeeper sections. You've got Chris Lynn, Evan Lewis and Shimron Hetmeyer, who we recommend as vice-captain. Kimo Paul and Chris Green with his remodeled action now. Bowlers include Sohail Tanvir, who we've made captain, Imran Tahir, Sheldon Cottrell and Naveen ul Haq. That team is one that you'd get with 100 credits. Darren, any more options that you'd like to throw in there?
Well, I saw Ross Taylor, the veteran from New Zealand. He's got 40 international centuries. He looked very fluent at the crease in that first game. He scored 33 in quick time. I think he has a big role to play in this Warriors team. I really think that he will come good. He's already adjusted to the conditions. Remember, this is not the first time that he is playing in Hero CPL. So I think he might be a player you would want to include in your fantasy team. We have other players in there that you could possibly replace, but I just have an uncanny feeling that he will come good in match number 4.
Yeah, he looked in pretty decent nick, Ross Taylor. He got those slog sweeps going early on, one too many against Sunil Narayan. But I like that selection of Ross Taylor. Darren Ganga backs one of the senior statesmen from New Zealand. Thank you very much, Darren. Plenty more coming from you as the CPL now is swinging into action. Remember that look at the playing 11s after the toss and only then confirm your fantasy team. We'll be back with plenty more expert opinion, analysis and data for you on My 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPN Cricinfo.